everybody, welcome back to Movies, Music, and Mayhem. It's the last of this year. It's going to be a little different this tonight, kind of doing a solo show, because everybody's doing their own thing kind of right now, and we're only going to be on for about an hour because I decided to be the unofficial pre-show for the Mark Ellis and Friends comedy thing tonight. So if you don't have your tickets, there's a link below. I think it's like $13 or something like that. They're on literally starting at 7 p.m. Pacific. So right after we're done here, definitely recommend buying that and then hitting that link and going over and seeing them, because it's not just him. It's going to be like him and Kate and Makuga and Knapsack, I think, are hosting as per usual. I love the combination of those three. They make me really happy. Sometimes I just love sitting at a bar and like sitting back and watching those three just like hang out and, you know, talk. It's really entertaining. So tonight I am ushering out this dumpster fire that was 2020. It was a really hard year for everybody. I know it was super hard for me because I didn't work a single day, which was real hard. So yeah, and then been battling the unemployment offices in the states of California, New York, and New Jersey, because all three of them are telling me to go to different places. It's just so much fun. So tonight I'm drinking, and we're doing an AMA. So yeah, just anything you guys want to know, I can just start talking and everything. Tonight's beverage of choice is brought to us by Kirkland Signature. It's Costco. I know I'm super classy. They had a Canadian whiskey that I was like, I have to try this. So take a sip of water. Let's see how this goes down. Not bad, actually. Wow, that's actually pretty good. It's a little maple syrupy, but it's Canadian, so, you know, what else are you going to think? Yeah, that's really good. That's really smooth. Yeah, I wouldn't mix that with anything. I think you'd lose the whiskey taste. Darren, I see Darren's here. Yeah, you got your tickets for Mark. I'm super excited for that. Oh, thank you. I'm very appreciative. I literally hopped out of the shower like 20 minutes ago and like slapped this on. Happy New Year, Ed. Yeah, I miss seeing your face twice a year in New York for the live events at the Smith and hanging out with you afterwards. It's, like I said, it's been a really rough year. I'm a super social person. I like going out and seeing my friends, and, you know, one of my love languages is touch. And as all of you know, I'm sure, no, I'm a hugger. And I haven't gotten to hug anybody this year hardly at all. Hey, babe. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Devlin. But yeah, it's yeah, dude, I feel like it's just gonna be like, as soon as we all get to see each other, it's just gonna be one giant orgy of hugs and like just people crying out of happiness to see each other. People are gonna be stuck. It's gonna be like a mosh pit of hugs. It's gonna be the most emo thing ever, which I would absolutely love. Speaking of mosh pit, I'm very excited to hopefully start touring again next year. I kind of gave it up 2 years ago because I'd been doing it for so long, and I really had a chance to kind of have a real life, I guess, because I'd missed so many weddings and births and deaths and it just big things and little things. You know, you live on the road, you don't get to be there for, you know, hey, it's Tuesday and I've got a bottle of wine. I had a shitty day. Like, come over, let's hang out and let's vent. I didn't get those for like 17 years. So it was really hard to do that and then still maintain friendships with people. So, oh, hi, Brandy. Love you. Happy New Year, sweet pea. Yeah, it's, so it was really hard. And so I decided to stop and give like real life a try. And I loved it. I loved having a kitchen. I love cooking. I love seeing my friends and family. Well, my friends. My family is good in small doses. I do love them, but do we butt heads? We are far too similar. But yeah, it's been fun being off the road. It was easier being off the road by being able to travel still. So like I I could still, like, you know, if I knew that one of my friends was on tour and they were going to Austin, I could fly out to Austin and visit with them and stay with them and, you know, come around Austin, go see the show at night. And not being able to do that has been really hard. Guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. Like, I'm down to answer anything at this point. We've got 55 minutes to kill before Ellis. Otherwise, I can just keep talking. Oh, yes, Robert. Speaking of Austin, I was in Austin just over a year ago, right about this time of year, and happened to get to it's true, I did. I literally was like, we can go to Austin and hang out, and then all of a sudden Robert appeared. But I was in Austin with the John Leguizamo Latin History for Morons tour, and Robert and his brother and I got to go out to breakfast, and it was so much fun. We got to hang out, and then literally like 3 days later was Spectacular, and I took the day off from my tour, and they were in Tempe. And I was like, no, I'm going to LA for this. So had to pay somebody to work the show for me. She was great. It went well. But it was definitely the right choice, because I think that was the last live event I got to go to, because I didn't get to go to New York in January, and then the world shut down. And that was really hard. To know that I missed the last live event in New York, not only the last live event, but being in New York with everyone. Yeah, I love that you guys are all just like hanging out and wishing each other. You guys are the best. Yeah, so so it's Happy New Year, Darren. It's already 2021 in London, right? If I can math. Yeah, because it's like 8 hours difference, I think. So it's like 2:00 in the morning. What are you doing up? I mean, I know you're a night owl, but love you guys. So yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything you want me to talk about, throw that into the chat, and I will just literally tell stories all night. Well, not all night, for the next 53 minutes. Yeah, it's 2:07 there. Yeah, it's been I know everybody says it's been a weird year. It's been really rough. Some really good things have come out of it, though. I started this, which I never really thought that I would be the type of person to have a show like this. I've said it before. I'm used to working backstage and producing and booking and, you know, dealing with the public and selling merch. I was never like the front man. I never like was that person. I do love emceeing, though, so that should have been a clue. As those who were in New York for the live event last August can attest, once I get a microphone in my hand, and I don't give it up. I just like singing backup for everybody. That was a fun night. That was the night after the Action Guys, after Ben and Drew did their one of their shows live from the Comedy Store, the New York Comedy Club, that Ellis was going to be performing at the next night. And it was like Janine's birthday weekend, and after the show, we all decided to go out to karaoke, and we had all been drinking pretty heavily during the show. And then we continued to drink heavily while at karaoke. And Janine and I used to, when she used to visit me in LA, she would stay with me in LA whenever she would come down for the Schmodown. And we would drive around in her car back and forth from my place to the studio. She would always have like the same soundtrack that we would listen to. And there's this song, Crush. I don't know if you guys know it. It's just a little crush. But there's backup vocals, and I love singing backup vocals, and I find it really fucking hilarious. So Janine has a stunning voice. And I sell merchandise for a reason. And so I love to ham it up with, you know, the background vocals. And so when it came time to sing karaoke in New York, we were drunk and laughing, and she put on Crush and handed me the mic. And then after the song, I just started emceeing karaoke and handing the other mic to the other person. And then I would just hold on to it. And if I knew the song, I would just sing along. backup, whether they wanted me to or not. Yeah, it is a classic. It's definitely one of those like Ace of Base style, like synthy kind of over dramatic songs. It's so much fun. It's just the best. I love that song. But yeah, God, I miss hanging out with Janine. We used to hang out all the time, and now we can't, and it sucks. But yeah, I'm excited to see what she's gonna do next season. That'll be interesting in the Schmodown. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I can't keep talking like this. Give me a question. Somebody, literally anything. Send something in the chat. That was her name, Jennifer Page. Yes, the background vocals were very breathy, which is what I got away with. I got to go crush. Ooh. It's just awful. But we would have fun with it. So it was fun. Robert, you must have a million questions. Ask me something. Come on. I know you guys have questions. Well, I don't want to make you emotional, but just how awesome was AEW last night? Oh my God, yes. Thank you, Ed. Well, first of all, I'm already emotional, so it's not a far putt. So last night, if for any of those of you who do not follow the wrestling world, one of its literal giants passed away last week. His stage name was Brody Lee, and I literally, I don't know how I didn't know this, but I found out that it's literally because of Mallrats, because he's such a huge fan of that movie. He named himself Brody after the character Brody, and then he picked the last name Lee because of Jason Lee, the actor who plays Brody, and that's how he got Brody Lee. And I was like, that just makes me love him even more, and I'm so sad that he's gone, and I can't talk to him about it. But he passed due to, I think they said it was a non-COVID related lung issue. But he was a big guy. He was like 6'7" or something like that. Basically would have made me look petite. Yes, Brody Bruce, because I can speak tonight, and Jason Lee. And he sadly passed away. He'd been absent from AEW for a long time, for a few months, and we found out that it was because he was at the Mayo Clinic and dealing with all this stuff. And then last night, the entire episode of AEW Dynamite on TNT was dedicated to him. So all of his faction members were involved in all of the matches, and it was very emotional. Just seeing first of all, people crying gets me crying no matter what, but seeing these very large, tough men come out to the ring and start crying before their matches, like fucking Colt Cabana coming out at the very beginning. He's in the first match and he comes out and he does the claw for Brody, and it just he's just crying, and I'm like, okay, you can't do this right now. And then they interspersed it with these really beautiful tributes that the wrestlers and some of the referees gave. There's a huge video available on YouTube right now. I think it's on the AEW channel, that it's just, I think it's Everybody Speaks About It. And it was such a beautiful match. Like the last match of the night was Brody's son's six favorite wrestlers all facing off against each other. So it was kind of like a dream match for him. And at one point they first of all, they start off the episode with the entire AEW crew and cast on stage, and they do a 10 ring bell salute, which just automatically gets you emotional. And then about 2/3 of the way, I think it was right before the last match, Cody comes out to speak. And he's so good on the mic. So he comes out with, I think it was 10 from Brody's faction, the Dark Order, and Tony Khan, who's he's like the producer, he's the money behind the man. Tony Khan is amazing. I would love for Christian and Tony to get together and pull some mashup of Schmodown and AEW. That would be fucking fantastic. But they bring out Brody's wife and his oldest son, who's wearing the Dark Order mask, and he brings out, oh, it's so good, it was so beautiful, he brings out his wrestling boots, and puts them in the center of the ring, and then Cody put a bandana, which is something that Brody was always known for having on him. He placed it over the shoes, and it was such a beautiful tribute. It was really, really sweet. They also got to involve Brody Jr. in one of the matches. Their biggest heel, MJF, who apparently was, if you remember months and months ago, I mean, I can barely remember yesterday, but months and months ago, there was an issue at C2E2 in Chicago where AEW was debuting their action figures, and one of the wrestlers that was MJF there was a picture of him flipping off this little girl and her dad, and the photo got out. The context of the photo was not known to a lot of people, but the story, like, I knew the story, and I remember Christian was talking about the story on, like, I think it was SEN, and so I put in the comments, like, just so you know, like, he is a heel, like, the dad is very aware, the daughter's like a huge fan, so, like, it's not something that, like, you know, it's not a big issue that he's flipping this child off because the child, like, literally kind of asked for it, because they know who he is. Like, you're not, as a good parent, you're not going to put your child in that situation, and the kid was like 9 or something like that, so it's not like it was like a 5-year-old or something. But anyway, MJF runs over during his match to Brody Jr. and starts, like, yelling at him, and Brody Jr. has, like, a stick or something. He, like, smacks him over the head, and, like, that's how they went. It was really cute. But yeah, it was a really emotional really emotional episode. I cried constantly throughout the 2 hours. If you want a good idea of what AEW is all about, definitely go watch that episode from last night. That would be phenomenal. I was emotional all episode, but when oh my God, yeah, that's right. Eric Roman was Brody's teammate with WWE, and he is a giant. Okay, now when I say giant, like, I'm a big girl, he's giant. He's like 6'8", almost 7 feet tall, something like that. Just huge. Shaved head, big red beard, and he comes out with a sign, and it was a lot. He, like, literally walked up and just, like, started crying, and, like, he choke slammed one of, like, AEW's biggest guys and made it look like nothing. It was so bad. It was amazing. Yeah, dude, it was just so good. Yes, yeah, Brody Jr. is like 8 too. So, I mean, but also his dad was a professional wrestler, so, you know, it just he doesn't know what happens at wrestling matches. He and his mom were always at the things. All right, so let's go back and find some of these. Oh, Davlin needs ice cream. I mean, yeah, ice cream is definitely good. Yes, Darren, those are the lyrics. I only remember them when I'm drunk, apparently, though. What band would I love an album from in 2020? I mean, we've gotten a lot of albums this year from a lot of people, but one of my favorite bands that I literally bucket list that I've never gotten to see live that I am dying to is the Foo Fighters. So anytime they want to release an album, I'm there for it. I love them so fucking much. I actually got to meet Dave Grohl in a bar near my old house when I first moved down to LA, and he likes to go, because they recorded in Encino, which was just up, or like Encino Northridge area, which was just up the road from where I lived in Tarzana. And there was a bar like at the end of my block, across the street, like cross over the railroad tracks, and like there's a bar right there called Palladino's, which if you're a community fan, no, not community, Parks and Rec fan, that's the bar that they always use. So I'm actually sad that I missed those shoot dates. But I walked in one night to see a friend who was bartending, and Dave Grohl happened to be on stage at like midnight on a Wednesday or something, and he was singing songs from Skin and Bones because he likes to go to bars and play them live so that he get, like, while they're recording a new album, so that he can hear them in an actual live setting. Like, it's not obviously not the best. Like, it's the acoustics are shit. The sound equipment is probably awful. But he just likes to hear them out loud. And, you know, if anybody's around who's decently sober, just any sort of feedback. So yeah, I bought him a Budweiser and we sat down and we talked, and he was amazing. Super, super sweet, incredibly intelligent. So yeah, so definitely Foo Fighters. Justin Towns, pit bulls or Pomeranians? I'd like to start this off by saying that all dogs matter. I love dogs. Just ask Beador, my wifey. All dogs matter. I love them. I am partial to bigger dogs because I am a bigger girl. I like the big dogs. But also pit bulls are just the sweetest. They're so loving and just so snuggly, and they smile. When they smile at you, like, how does your heart not melt? Now, I love Pomeranians too. I think they're adorable. They're little yappy dogs, but I don't know. There's something very near and dear to my heart regarding pit bulls. I think it's because everybody thinks that they're intimidating, and they're actually just soft love nuggets. And I feel like that's kind of like me, I guess. Whoa, if I could set up a festival, what's the type and lineup? Well, I know that the only people allowed would be the people that I want there. So, it would probably be a one stage, but like 7-day festival. Just because it would be a lot of bands that I would want to see. And it would just be all my favorite bands from everything. So I don't think that there would be a style. Like there would be no genre specifically for that. I think, yeah, I mean, I guess it would mirror kind of like a Coachella, but like way less douchey. But I would definitely want, I mean, if I could book anybody, I would book the Foo Fighters to headline, because then I would finally get to see them. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be totally selfish about this. Butch Walker, for sure. He's my ride or die musician. I love him so much. And plus I would love to hear him and Dave sing together. Like, this would probably be less of a festival and more of like a just me being like, okay, now you two sing. Just sing me pretty things. Coheed and Cambria, for sure. We Came as Romans. Those are my babies. I mean, you know, Andy Glass was my very first guest on this, so I would love to hang out with him again. Fuck, Real Big Fish. Throw some ska in there. There's a band that nobody knows, and I want to make sure, like, I love them dearly, but I want to make sure that I get their name right. And they are like, they have an album out. It's female fronted, which I tend to not like too much, but April Smith and the Great Picture Show, so fucking good. It's very almost rockabilly. It's kind of country rock, but like not twangy. They're so fucking good. I don't even know how to describe them. But a friend of mine showed them to me, and I fell head over heels in love. White Denim is another band that's some friends of mine showed me that they're so good. Plus I got to see them live at Stubbs in Austin, which was amazing. They were so much fun. Yeah, I think it would just, I mean, 2004's version of Skate and Surf was incredible. So Skate and Surf is a 3-day festival, used to be held in New Jersey. And it literally, they released the lineup in February of that year, and it was my 20th birthday. It was going to be my 20th birthday, the first day of the 3-day festival. So my friend and I were like joking, like, that we should go and like check it out. And then they released the lineup, and it was like somebody literally, and this is 2004, guys, so bear with me. It's like somebody literally took our CD collection, because that's what we had, and just looked at the whole thing. It was like, yeah, you guys can all play. And it was all of our favorite bands. We got to hang out with our favorite artists all weekend. It was just fantastic. It was so much fun. I would love if we could get all of that back together. Like, we're talking like the early November. Bayside was there, brand new. I know Jesse Lacey is a little Taking Back Sunday. God, who else was there? Lucky Boys Confusion, which is a band out of Chicago that nobody knows about. They're so good. I wonder if they're all still alive. They partied pretty hard. But yeah, there's so many bands. I love it. Oh, I'm so glad. Got a nice peanut butter cup ice cream. I'm very happy for you, Devlin. That sounds delicious. Wait, what? Are you serious? The Foo Fighters released an album. God. I just won $1 million and a really great job on tour again. God, that would be amazing. Shit. Well, I guess I wasted my wish for 2021. Not wasted, but it could have been so much better. Yes, your 75-pound pit. Oh my God. Tweet me a photo. I need pictures, guys. You can't just tease me with a dog and not send pictures. Super Mario or Zelda. Okay, so this is where I might lose a few of you because I'm not really a gamer. I don't hate it. I just don't have. I'm a button masher. So I kick ass at like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I'm really, really good at Duck Hunt. Anything with a gun, I'm really good at, which is kind of terrifying to say, and I probably shouldn't say that on the internet, but whatever. But Super Mario, I tend to be better at. But I don't know what it is. I think it's just storylines. I love watching people play video games. I find them incredibly interesting. I mean, if they've got a good story to tell, like anything else in life, whether it's music or movies or mayhem, if it's a good story, I want to know more about it. When my best friend Jessica, who you guys have met a few times, she used to live down in Huntington Beach at at this house, and there were constantly people coming and going. I don't think they ever locked the door. There was always someone there in some state of consciousness. But it was very much a party environment because we were in our early 20s, and they're like an entire band. I don't know if you guys know who National Product is. That entire band at one point or another lived at the apartment or lived in the house. It was like a 4-bedroom house, and she ended up living upstairs, and there were parties every weekend. I was kind of an unofficial member of the house. So when parties were happening and people were acting up, I had the authority to throw people out, which was fun, especially when they were like tiny little like Southern California girls. They're like, "You don't live here." And I'm like, "I don't care. I can literally throw you across the street physically. Just get the fuck out. Stop vomiting on the floor." But we had a blast living there. I can't remember what. Oh, that's right. I was like, why am I telling this story? Because at one point the band was touring. Their bassist, I think, had like broken his leg right before they were supposed to do a tour through Japan, I think. Or no, they were supposed to go to the East Coast, and he broke his leg, and they picked up a bassist while they were on tour named James. And James ended up coming back with them at the end of the tour and staying at the house. And then they didn't know how their actual bassist leg was healing, because then they had to go to Japan. And so James just kind of like hung out the house in like this really weird state of limbo, of like, I don't know what's going on. But he gave mine and the other girls that lived at the apartment, he gave our numbers to his mom, who lived in South Carolina. And when he didn't call the house and didn't call her back or answer her phone calls, she would call us to make sure that he was still alive and to find out what was going on. But James would sit in one of the rooms during the day when the guys were working or out or whatever, and just play Metal Gear. And I would sit there for like 8 hours a day and just watch him play Metal Gear. And they do that thing where like if you hold the gun up to somebody, they put their arms up and they go, "Don't shoot." And then if you hold the gun to them, they do this weird kind of dance, and like things fall out of their pockets, like med packs or health points or something like that. So we used to joke around that we started holding each other up as a greeting, and whoever the first one to see the other person would put their fingers up, and then you have to go, "Don't shoot," and then you have to do the dance for them. And it's just a weird thing, but it's literally something that we still do to this day. And it's been like I don't know, like 15 years. So stupid. But yeah, so I would watch Zelda, but I would play Super Mario. Justin, how's that? Darren, it's called Medicine at Midnight. I mean, what this is. So, ooh, I love recommendations. Check out Def Havana, Don Bracco, and Headley. Oh yeah. No, I've heard Headley. I want to say I worked a few shows that they played at. Again, my 20s are very blurry, filled with a lot of haze and drugs and booze. Some head injuries because, sometimes you're in the pit or walking to trying to get stuff out of the trailer and boxes fall on your head because people don't know how to put shit back. I have a great playlist of the story and cutscenes of several games. I'll link it to you on Twitter. I'm sure you can find something to enjoy. Oh my God, I love hearing people's playlists. Actually, that's funny. So part of my Patreon that is going to happen next year, if you guys want to join or are already a part of it, I will be adding to my Patreon all the perks and stuff like that. So if you join like this, where is it? I don't know what's going on. There we go. If you join the Patreon, there's going to be a whole bunch of fun stuff. One of the things that is coming to the Patreon is I am going to put together a monthly playlist. And if you are in the Drinking Buddies group, I think I'm going to create another level to add this as an extra. So it's going to be a little between Drinking Buddies and the other one. I can't remember the name of it right now. That I'll do a personalized set list or playlist for you on Spotify. Because I really miss like being in the whole music industry of it all. I miss finding new bands and, like giving the bands that I love a second life with people who may or may not have heard them, or like either remind them or reintroduce them to people. So, yeah, I think it would be great. I would love that though, Devlin. Yes, please. Snickers or Butterfingers? So something I don't like to talk about because everybody is like, oh, yeah. So I've been vegan for 10 years now. And I technically can't eat through those anymore. But I think on the regular, I was more of a Snickers girl, but for some reason, Butterfingers tasted the best on Halloween night, and I don't know why. Maybe it was just the colors and the fact that it was like a dark brown, like blackish color with like, orange. But like they always ended up getting like stuck in my molars. But I fucking love Butterfingers. They're so good. But for some reason, like in my mind, like Butterfingers are a Halloween candy. It like that's what they are. It's so much. God, I miss trick-or-treating a little bit. Just a scotch. Actually, my friends and I, my best friend, growing up, her name was Tiana, and we would trick or treat. We trick or treated until we were 18, and I'll tell you why. Because in high school, she and I were both cheerleaders in high school, and we would trick or treat from one of our houses. Like we would get ready at somebody's house, and then we would trick or treat to the party, whatever party we were going to, and instead of bringing booze, we would bring and donate the candy. And so we would always end up like, we'd always made sure to like go to the door with like a group of kids, and like the people would just assume that like we were their babysitters or something, I guess. I don't know. But we would trick or treat like literally from one house to another, and then just like get to the party and dump our sacks of candy into a giant bowl, and everyone was so excited. You thought we had brought like all the booze, but they were just so drunk at that point that they were like candy. And then, we're young and stupid, so whatever. So that was fun, but I do love a Snickers. They were really, really good. I don't understand what a snake, ESG. I don't know what that is. Oh, to just so you know, while I was watching, and he was playing Metal Gear, he was getting high and I was getting a contact high. Hiding in the bike box was the best in Metal Gear Solid. That sound when he got found. It's true. Ah, yes, thank you. So if you guys want to check my Twitter, it's there if you want that. Oh yes, I'm so excited, Darren. We've got a bunch coming up. Oh shit, Black Sabbath or Metallica? Okay, it's so hard. I mean, I did get into a snowball fight with Metallica when I was like 13, so I think, and they're Bay Area boys. Black Sabbath. I had a massive crush on one of the managers that worked at the movie theater when I was there. When I was like, I think it was like 18 when he came. There was like this huge changeover of management at one point, because apparently they were abusing the company credit cards. Oops, a little bit of fraud. But so like literally all of the management that I had started with got fired, and they brought in complete new management, and I got a well-deserved promotion and raise. So I was working in the back office, and one of the managers I had a massive crush on, his name was Darren. And he was like, he had Star Wars tattoos, but like was a linebacker in high school and was like 25. So like he was perfect in my eyes. I had a massive crush on him. But he loved Black Sabbath. And I remember every time that he and I would work in the back office together, I would always put Black Sabbath on just so that we could like talk. Because apparently I thought I had game when I was 18. Yeah, that's fun. That's from Metal Gear Solid when he ties the guy. Oh yeah, Snake. I forgot about that. It's been like 15 years since the last time I watched Metal Gear Hostage. Teenage Dirtbag or Black Parade. I think I gotta go with Teenage Dirtbag. 'Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. It's just so whiny and nasally. It's so much fun to sing. Black Parade is amazing and gothic and theatrical. I am dying to see My Chem live again. I'm so sad that we couldn't see them this tour because it had to get canceled. Oh my god. Also, this guy that I was dating when I first lived in LA was a bassist, and he ended up being the bass coach for Mikey Way, who is part of MCR. So he would come back from like lessons with Mikey, and like we would go out on a date or something, and he would tell me about Mikey. And like Mikey and I would have conversations through my then boyfriend guy I was dating. But yeah, it was, God, I miss those days. Oh, when everything was fun. But Teenage Dirtbag, no. If you guys haven't heard Teenage Dirtbag in a while, do yourself a favor. Go on Spotify and look it up. That shit is amazing. It's so much fun to like just dance around your house like an idiot singing Teenage Dirtbag. It's so good. Hi, Joey. Oh, Joey. I cannot believe, guys, if you don't know, Joey takes the backstage, would take the backstage photos at the Schmodown, and he has this son who is he was very tiny. I think I met Luke when he was like in a carrier and like would not, like he couldn't walk or something. He was too young, and like then towards the end he was starting to like kind of scuttle around and would like play with the dogs that got brought in and like kind of wobbly chase them around, and now he's like running around the house, and oh god, he's gotten so big. Damn right. I thought Wheatus was a girl singing forever. I mean, yeah, dude, you know what, I think some of my favorite bands are when the lead singer doesn't look like the way that they sound. So like Wheatus and Coheed, Circus Survive. Yeah, there's no way that anybody thinks that Anthony Green looks the way that he does, even though I love him. He's my favorite. He was one of my massage clients on Warped Tour because he would hunch his shoulders while he sang, and so it caused a lot of tension in his neck and upper back area, so I would have to work that out. But he would also, I called him my pirouetting lead singer because he would always be on his toes when he performed, and even like if he was crouching down, he would still be on the balls of his feet, so like his Achilles and like his legs were starting to like really cramp up on him because it's Warped Tour and you're not properly hydrated ever. You're just sweating constantly. So I used to, he would literally come by for like a massage a week, if not more. Oh no, it was usually like 2 or 3 times a week. He would be on the chair and then I would have to bust out the table for him. But yeah, my favorite are the bands who the singers do not look like they sound. I was actually booked Tweetist in my hometown. Oh my God. I mean, it's so good. It's one of my favorites. Now you're just starting shit. Clone Wars or Return of Skywalker. I, like many people my age, was not a fan of the prequels when they came out. And I have not gone back to watch the prequels in a very long time. I do have an entire Star Wars saga rewatch scheduled for my studying. So I will get to rewatch that. Return of Skywalker. Wait, is that the title? Why is my brain thinking that's not right? I don't know. Why does that not sound right? Yeah, I think right now it would have to be Skywalker. Because I haven't seen Clone Wars in so long, and because it was so tainted by like young, I think it was like 22 when it came out, and you know, when you're that young, you're super pretentious. At least I was. Yeah. Yay! Oh, baby pictures. I love the baby. Joey has been sending me photos and videos of his child, like all quarantine, and it makes me so happy. We just have brought out some great other albums. Yes, I'm sure they have, but for some reason that song is just like in my heart. Maynard James Keenan or Trent Reznor. I mean, I gotta go Trent. Not just for like the stuff that he's done with the band and solo, but like all of his soundtrack work is just exceptional. Now Maynard is, I want to say I met him, I can't remember if it was at the Roxy or the Viper Room. I think it was the Viper Room. All I remember was a very tiny room, and that fits both places. It was backstage. He was very sweet, very weird. Love him, but wow. I mean, Hanson, you know what? Make fun of me all you want, but Hanson does have some fucking bops after Bop, and I did not mean that as a pun. No, they have some really good songs later on in their career. I mean, it's weird to think that they're all like married with like 20. I think they have like 20 kids between the 3 of them. I don't know. Like, they're Mormon, right? So like they just fucking pop them out. I don't know. Because it's not, damn it. What's your side on the workers on the Death Star Clerks debate? For those who don't know, there's a discussion. There's this that happens during the very controversial portion of the question that I got regarding, or the question that the Butcher Boys got regarding what does Dante say is his favorite Star Wars movie. It's Empire, because that's what he says. It's not even Empire Strikes Back, because that's not, he never says that. He says Empire. And there's this whole debate on whether or not the deaths in the second, when the second Death Star is blown up, it's being built, and that means that there are contract workers on the Death Star that got blown up who weren't necessarily Empire. And there's a guy who's a roofer standing right there trying to like buy coffee or something. And he tells a story about how he got this great job offer. It was like 3 times the money that he normally would get, but he found out that it was a local mob boss, and so he turned it down and sent it to his friend. And his friend, and that like the day that he's like putting up shingles or whatever, he's like working on the roof. Another family came by with a hit on the family whose house he was fixing and died because he didn't let politics dictate his wallet. And so I'm kind of on the side of the roofer, that they knew who they were working for. They knew the risks. Yeah, I think that they knew. I do have a Streamlabs just to throw out there, guys, just in case you want to. We have 15 minutes left before we got to close this up. And everybody goes over to Ellis's special. Steve, movie Fanobi, I love you so much, says, Happy New Year, you sweet and spunky, beautiful woman. Sending you the best in 2021. All the best to you and your family. Sincerely, Steve, you are the sweetest. I adore you. Thank you so much. Yeah, 2021's been hard. So 2021, hopefully better. I'm not going to jinx it anymore. It's Rise. My bad. Yes, Rise of Skywalker. I was like, that's not right. I've been drinking and haven't been studying Star Wars yet, so don't judge. For those of you who have seen both, which one do you like more, Soul or Wolf Walkers? I have not seen Wolf Walkers. Wolf Walkers, I think, is that's the animated. Is that on HBO? I think it's on HBO. It looks amazing. I love animation. I think it's stunning what they can do with like shading. Like that's literally all it is. It's just varying degrees of shading and clarity, and just I'm stunned by people's ability to do that, because I don't, and I'm gobsmacked at everything. But I loved Soul. Soul was, and this is controversial, I know, but especially being as emotional as I am, but the only time that I really cried during Soul was when they did a pan out from New York and they showed Manhattan and Brooklyn, and it just like got to me that I hadn't been there in so long, and I just burst into tears crying because I missed New York and my friends who live there, and like, you know, theater, and it just started spiraling, and I just cried real hard, had to pause it. I love that movie. That movie's so fantastic. I feel like if I had watched it for the first time under a different situation, because I watched it with people and we were chatting about it during the movie because we're at home. It was amazing, but I really want to see Wolf Walkers. Okay, we'll get through these real quick. Do you think the average stormtrooper knows how to install a toilet? I love you, Robert. And I'm going to say no. I don't believe that the average stormtrooper knows how to install a toilet. I love you. Wolverine versus the Hulk. Who you got? I feel like the Hulk has an edge. I know Wolverine's got the adamantium and the healing powers, but I feel like Hulk could bring up, like, because the statistics on immortality, which is basically what Wolverine is. He's immortal. He will heal himself repetitively until his heart stops beating, but it won't, because he'll just heal. And so they say that when you're immortal, it brings your chances of being, of like dying in a like in an avalanche or something like that, of being like what's the term, you get stuck in a place that you can't be rescued from. It brings it to 100%, because all of the probabilities in life will eventually act itself out, and that will happen. I think the Hulk would be able to put the Wolverine in that situation. I don't know, like, fucking animate it and I'll watch the shit out of it. Yeah. Oh, Justin, stop. It's fine. You're asking these great questions. Totally great. It's on Apple TV. Yes. Wolf Walkers is on Apple TV. I do not have Apple TV because, as Justin stated, I am also broke. I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I have this image of you painted as a pinup on the side of a B-52 bomber. Fuck yes, I would love that. What is my favorite dress-up style? Pinup, 100%. I spent. It's just so much like it's the only style of dress I think that celebrates the female form, and it like it's just so comfortable. Like I'm not even joking. There's just like even a wiggle dress, like I can't like that's the really narrow cut. Um, Even a wiggle dress is very comfortable. You can sit down, you can stand up, like you can still walk in it. Like it looks constrictive, but it's not. I think a pencil skirt at the bottom. Um, it's so great. Plus the fabrics are usually luscious and like you don't just wear like pinup stuff. Like it's like an event. You know, you do your hair, you do your makeup, you put on like the Spanx. You've got like there's certain heels, you get your nails done. It's just an event and it's so much fun and I love it to death. It's something that I'll do every now and then, just like hang out and like watch movies while I'm home because you know you gotta look pretty every now and then. You gotta just dress up, and because there's nowhere to go doesn't mean you stop doing that. I mean, there are other things you can stop. But yeah, you know, it's fun. It's fine. I would love to be painted pin style on the side of a B-52 bomber during World War II. I think like I always loved that too. I love how like back in the day they used to do that. They used to paint pinups on the side of bombs. And it was just kind of another fuck you. Which I love. Yeah, it's great. I do prefer the swing style, which is like the flowy skirt aside out to the wiggle, which is constrictive, because there's just something fun about having a skirt that you can twirl in. It's a blast. Um, Acrylic or oil paint? I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you're painting, I guess. I haven't painted in a really long time. I'm more of a personally, I'm more of a sketcher. Not the shoe. I really like working. Do I have my sketchbook somewhere? Well, let me go see if I can find it. But I used, because it was easier to travel my sketchbook than it was like paints and stuff like that, because we were constantly moving around. Let me see. Oh, yeah, here you are. Oh, with a set list. Because I have them everywhere. And what is that? Oh, okay. Let me see. I would sketch out designs for tattoos. Oh, this one I did. My niece had passed out. God, this is 17 and a half years ago. My niece had passed out on the bed, and I drew her passed out. She's so sweet. She's just a chunky little monkey. Yeah, I drew more like, oh, here we go. Okay, so if you know, if you've been watching, you understand. Actually, I did sketch something very pinup-y for a friend of mine was looking for a logo, and so I did this for him. Yeah, she's super cute. But if you know me, you know I'm a fan of Supernatural, and I was on a very long bus ride one day and decided to try sketching a young Jensen Ackles, and I think it turned out pretty good. I think I got his eyes down really well. But yeah, he's a beautiful man. I think I did okay on him. Oh, and then I did one of Jared Padalecki too, which he signed and literally like did not give my sketchbook back for a long time. But that's Jared. He's a good boy. I like him. He's like the world's most giant 5-year-old. Looks like he has a giant forehead, but he actually does. But yeah, I love working, and this is all graphite. With no I know a lot of people graph out because these were working off of a photo. And I know a lot of people graph it out, like they'll remember back in like elementary school when they would give you like a drawing, it was like a whole bunch of squares or whatever, and you had to like match the square and like like do the drawing and like you had to form it all together. A lot of people do that with when they're trying to sketch a photo onto another piece of paper. They'll draw grids on the photo and then draw grids on the paper and kind of try and match it. I don't do that. I just freehand it. And I haven't done that in a really long time. I think I kind of want to get started back up. Thanks, Justin. Yeah. I miss doing artwork. I literally was like 9 one day. One day when I was 9 years old, like I literally just like sat on like in my house, on the inside of our sliding glass door in the backyard and like sketched my dog who just like sat on the other side for like 2 hours, just like literally posing for me. And it was like, my dad was like, did you do this? I don't know. I've just been artistic a lot. I like it. It makes me happy. And then I was also a very sullen and emotional teenage girl. So I drew a lot of like emo stuff. That's amazing. But yeah, it was, thanks guys. It was a lot of fun. I haven't painted a lot. I think that that's something that I would love to get into, but like I never really had like the starter kit for it, or the space or the time, because like I said, I've only been off the road for like 2 years, and I've been still in that 2 years I've moved, including the move down to LA. I've moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the last 2 years. So hopefully 2021 will bring a little stability after I move back to LA and after the world opens. But yeah, maybe it's just me, but women in corsets just, I'm sorry, what was I saying? Dude, I love a good corset. If that can snatch me a waist and like, I mean, you guys saw the photos I did for Ursula. Just go back there. I think I posted them on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you can find the link down there. But yeah, dude, I love a good corset. Those things are fantastic. I got fitted for one at a Ren fair, and I've never looked back. Like, I think that was the most, until I started dressing until I started buying pinup dresses, it was the most expensive thing I've ever had. And I think it was only like $80 because, well, outside of my cheer uniform, but yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, I lied. This is my last one. Songwriter. Dave Grohl or Jack Black? Or Jack White. Wow, I just did that. Schmodown. Hard. I mean, Jack White does some incredible lyrical gymnastics with his songs. Icky Thump is fantastic. Like that, you just listen to that and it's just, you have to listen to it like 5 or 6 times with the lyrics, and like it's still such a weird song, but it's so beautiful and complex. And I don't know, I think Dave Grohl, honestly. Evermore is, I mean, my hero. Monkey Wrench. He knows how to write songs that can speak to you and yet appear completely surface level. He has such a fucking talent for that. It's unbelievable. Okay, guys, we gotta head out of here real soon because we got like 2 minutes left. You're an oil painter. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Post a link to your stuff. I'd love to take a look at that. Let's talk about current with TED music groups from the last 40 years. Okay, so Foo Fighters is the number one I haven't seen that's alive, but Queen. I would probably give up the rest of my life if I could transport myself to be side stage or in that front row, or in that sound booth for Queen at Wembley Stadium. Like, I just want to be there for that. That is, if you haven't seen that video, it is one of the most electric things ever. It's so fucking beautiful. Also, just Queen, like, Freddie Mercury is such a fucking amazing human being. He also wrote, the soundtracks to my life, which is Fat Bottom Girls. Love him. It's literally one of my favorite songs of all time. We used to stretch out to that during when I was in cheerleading. My senior year, I would play that. We listened to Fat Bottom Girls and We Are the Champions. to warm up to, because it gets your blood pumping and like excited. And also because I had control of the stereo, and why not listen to the most fabulous man in music history. Love him so much. Yes, Haskell, thank you. If you guys have tickets to the Ella show, check your email. The link is out. Shit, I haven't bought my ticket yet. I should probably get that because I was a little strung up with this. All right, Devlin, last question. A group or song you'd love to see Weird Al parody for? Any band who, I would love to see Weird Al tear Trapped apart. They're awful. Well, not they. I'm sorry. Just Chris. Which, funny enough, I'm not a fan of Chris Brown, the singer, like the performer, like Rihanna's ex, because of the bullshit that he put her through, and I don't think he ever suffered at all for the things that he did to her. But funny enough, the lead singer of Trapped, his name is also Chris Brown. So Chris Browns just fucking suck. And if your name is Chris Brown, I apologize. Go by Christopher. Don't go by Chris. You guys have been the best. Thank you so much for such a great year. I have to send such a massive thank you shout out to everybody who has been a guest of my show, everybody who's watched, all of you guys that are patrons that are so phenomenal. I cannot thank you enough, especially during this time of COVID. Honestly, your donations, I hope I'm giving you every cent of your money's worth. But it's literally been such an honor to come in every week and have you guys a part of my life and introduce you to myself and to my friends. I've got the schedule for January, but I cannot release it yet because there's still some people are still iffy on their timing. But next Tuesday night, I am starting a Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist watch along. Larry Payne from the Gucciverse, his wife Lindsay, is joining me for that. If any of you boys want to join in, I would love to have you in. Just know that this is a really serious show. It's very important to me, and we will be talking about that. But it's starting on next Tuesday on January 5th at 9:15 p.m. PT, Pacific time. I can talk tonight. But yeah, you guys I cannot thank you enough. This has been such a trying year. You guys have been what has gotten me through. It's been really, even on days when it's been really hard just to get out of bed, I knew I had to, because it was Thursday and I got to come see you guys, and everything was so much better once I did. You guys are 100% the best. Please go support Ellis and Kate and Makuga and Knapsack. I love you guys to death. You are the best. Oh my God. Yes, we will have to do the 4-chord challenge sometime. I'm 100% in. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I hope that all of your holiday seasons were great, and Happy New Year to all of you guys, wherever you may be right now. But I love you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. And I will see you either Tuesday night for Zoe's at 9:15 p.m. PT, or back here next week. Keep an eye on your Twitter and the Facebook and my Instagram for the announcements for the January schedule. But you guys are amazing. I love you. I wish nothing but great things. Thank you so much for your support and love, and I love you. Awkward dance off.